Welcome again, everyone, to this Respect Ballarat Grants Program information session. My name is Andrew Eales, and I'm the CEO of the Ballarat Foundation. And it's our pleasure today to host this session in partnership with Respect Victoria. And very soon you will hear from Jenny Anderson, who is the Director of Strategy, Policy and Impact at Respect Victoria. Jenny and I will be taking you through today's presentation. And yeah, I'd like to thank everyone who has registered to attend today. We have a very large number of people that will be joining us, and I can still see some numbers filtering in there. So we will get underway. I'd just like to start today by acknowledging the traditional owners of the lands on which we are meeting today. I am here on Wadawurrung country today, and I certainly want to recognise the enduring commitment that people have. My apologies, we're just having some technical issues. Just check if I can get a thumbs up if people can see that presentation. We can see it now. Thank you so much. I'll begin again by acknowledging that we here are meeting today, coming to you from Wadawurrung lands, and want to recognise the enduring commitment that traditional owners have had to caring and nurturing the lands on which we meet. Pay our respects today to elders past and present and any First Nations people who may be joining us online today. Please note that today's session will be recorded and shared online following the conclusion of today's presentation. We do have questions enabled via chat. You won't be able to ask verbal questions today just due to the large number of people that we've got on today's session. So please do enter your questions in the chat. Please include your organisation name. If we don't get to all the questions today, we will come back to you via email with a response where appropriate. Please also remain on mute. We have quite a lot of detail to go through today, and we will endeavour to get to everyone's questions. There is a contact email address there, info@ballaratfoundation.org.au. Please include in your subject Respect Ballarat Grants Program question. That's for questions that we don't get to today, or if you start going through the application process and there's something that crops up that we haven't addressed today, please email us with those questions and we'll endeavour to elicit a response. Today, you will hear about the roles that Respect Victoria and the Ballarat Foundation are playing in supporting this grant program. You will hear about the program itself, the guidelines, the application process, and we will end with a Q&A. And it's my pleasure now to hand over to Jenny Anderson from Respect Victoria to provide a short overview of the role of Respect Ballarat in regards to this grant program.
Terrific. Thanks so much, Andrew, and welcome everyone to this information session today. So as Andrew said, I'm from Respect Victoria, and we are the agency that was appointed by government to lead the Respect Ballarat initiative for 4 years up to June 2028. So we've been working with communities since May 2024 to design and now to start implementing and setting up grant programs. So we've been working with the foundation to develop up the Ballarat Foundation grant guidelines, and so you will have seen a copy of those. And those guidelines really outline the key things that we are aiming for with these grants. They indicate the priority change areas that we would like the funded activities to be aligned to, some principles that we have worked up with community, and also mentioning program outcomes that we would like the funded activities to be contributing to. So our role in all of this, we will be setting up, or the Ballarat Foundation, establishing a panel that will assess the applications, and that will have up to 6 people on that panel. And Respect Victoria will have one voting representative on that panel. And I guess I just wanted to mention also that we are taking a very learning together approach on these grants. We don't want to just help the foundation to provide this money and to do these activities and then just leave you to your own devices. We want to actually be there to support, wrap around with a community of practice and help you engage fully so that everyone learns from this experience, and we can pass on those learnings to other sites that may want to do this type of work in the future. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, Jenny. And we'll quickly go through now the role that the Ballarat Foundation is playing in support of this grants program. So we will be administering the program from a technical perspective. So all of the information, including the guidelines, templates, and access to the grant application portal, will be available on our website. It's ballaratfoundation.org.au. That information has been available since the program opened on Monday. We will be managing the questions from applicants across the process, both today and until the end of the application process in October. Where we need to, we will be seeking advice from Respect Victoria in response to any questions you may have. The Ballarat Foundation has set the terms of reference for the assessment panel. As Jenny mentioned, there will be up to 6 members on that panel. We will be notifying applicants of the outcome of the grants process, and we will be managing all of the grant agreements, the distribution of funds, all the reporting requirements and acquittals at the other end of the project. So I'm going to hand back now to Jenny just to go through the details of the grant program itself.
Thanks, Andrew. Any minute now. As you will have seen, if you've read through the grant guidelines, we've set out a few key elements that are parts of this grant. So the overall objectives of this first round of grants is to build partnerships between local organisations, prevention and community organisations to further prevention work in Ballarat. The second one is to build prevention knowledge, understanding and action in workplaces and communities. The third is to seek local solutions to build the foundation for behaviour change that will prevent gendered violence in the future. And the fourth one is about identifying and training local leaders. So these might be change makers and other people of influence in the community, to upskill them and for them to become prevention role models who will drive the future community mobilisation work for the grants, for the project, I should say. We have 3 key areas of change that we have identified from a large piece of evidence synthesis, including the co-design process that was done within community earlier this year. So these 3 change areas are what we're looking for your grants to be aligned with. One of these. So people engage in informed, compassionate conversations about gendered violence that values survivors' experiences and avoid harmful stereotypes. The second one is that men demonstrate care and empathy and express emotions in non-harmful ways with partners, children, and others. And the third is around community leaders and organisations consistently modelling and promoting respectful non-violent behaviour and creating those safer spaces in workplaces for conversation about gendered violence. And just a note about that we are supporting projects that are either primary prevention or early intervention as well. We have a set of outcomes that have been outlined for Respect Ballarat as a whole initiative. And so any grant that is part of that activity, we would like to see some alignment with at least one of these outcomes. So you can divide these outcomes into 4 main groups, and we have provided some examples in the grant guidelines around those and put a couple up here on this screen. So the main groups of outcomes can be seen around the actual way the model is designed and implemented and delivered on the ground. So that might be a focus on partnerships. It's also looking at attitudes. So we're trying to change attitudes in the community. And so one outcome we're looking for is that people agree that gendered violence is a problem and that everyone has a role to play in changing that. The third one is skills and capabilities. So we're looking at not only changing attitudes and knowledge, but also upskilling people in the community and developing capabilities, both in community and people in the workforce and in the broader community. So people can identify gendered violence and its causes, and people will have the skills to be able to identify backlash, say, for example. There are many other examples there too. And the fourth one is around mobilising the community and gaining greater engagement so that everyone in the community is working towards the same outcome. So this is really a focus on, we're hoping that organisational leaders will understand and can become champions of prevention work. And there are other examples too. Thanks, Andrew. So through our work with community and particularly the co-design process, we came to a set of 6 principles, and these principles will help not only guide the design of the model, which they have already done, but they will then guide the way that activities are carried out. And so by extension, we would like the grantees to have these principles in mind as they create their activities and do the work of prevention and early intervention on the ground. So these 6 are: prevention is everyone's responsibility, seeing that it's not just one body and it's not government who will make this change, but everyone will make this change. We'd like grantees to think of a meaningful way they can consider intersectionality in the work that they're doing. We would like to embed lived experience perspectives where appropriate and possible. We would like to start, and so your projects will build on already strengths that are within the community and work that is going on, but maybe extending that or filling gaps and using evidence to really bolster that. We'd like people to learn and partner to build sustainable long-term change. So everyone as a whole community is partnering together in this. And we'd like our work and the way we do things to strengthen connection and belonging between community members. Thanks, Andrew. So if you've been paying close attention to our launch and to the website, you will see that there's some priority people and priority places. And through the co-design work, but through other evidence building as well, we were able to say that these are the first priority people and places that we would like prevention activities to focus on. We can't do everything at once, so by honing in on these, we believe we can make the biggest impact in the shortest amount of time. So we would like your applications and your proposals to relate to one of the priority people or one of the priority places. So the people are new parents with a particular focus on engaging new fathers, children and young people, men, and leaders, both informal and formal leaders. And the places very much mirror those people. So they are then looking at early years settings, they are looking at education settings, they are looking at community sport, and they are looking at workplaces. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, Jenny, for running us through those objectives and the focuses of this grant program, and certainly reinforcing that this program very much is a starting point for it's another point in the journey that our community is taking through this project. So thank you so much for that information. It's now my role to provide some of the technical details about the program itself and how it will operate. So there is a total of $1 million that is available in the initial grant funding round that is now open. We expect that funds from this round will be distributed through probably March and April 2026. We have two tiers of grants, small grants, which are up to $50,000, and large grants from $50,000 to $100,000. The large grants are really targeted at collaborative projects which have demonstrated multi-sector or community-wide reach and impact. The smaller grants are designed for community organisations or pilot projects which have a more targeted, localised reach and impact. And I guess if you wanted to put it in a sporting sense, as one of the places that is being identified for this program, a larger grant might look at a league, a smaller grant might look at a club. It's about the different levels of impact that you may well be delivering across the different scales of those projects that you need to consider when you're considering what level of grant you will be applying for in this program. Projects will be funded for a maximum of 1 year. There is not multi-year funding available in this program. However, as Jenny mentioned earlier on, the learning together approach, I think, is going to be really supportive in terms of how projects may develop into the future. Applications for this program opened on Monday this week and will close at 11:59 p.m. on Friday, the 12th of December. Applications should align with those priority areas and the long-term change that the Respect Ballarat program is working towards. We are looking for that alignment with people and places, and when you access the application form on our website, you will be asked to nominate specifically the priority people and places that you are targeting with your project. You should focus on demonstrating how you've considered the critical elements of success in your application. So thinking about the partnerships and the collaborations that you're creating within the Ballarat community, how your project is tailored to place. So how exactly you're going to approach those priority people and places cohorts that you wish to engage. Adopting that learning together approach and what that looks like, and how your organisation may contribute to that aspect of the program. And informed and evidence building. Obviously, we want to have projects which are supported by identifying needs and gaps in our community, but then also can be measured so that we can show the success or the challenges that exist in responding to the needs that have been identified through the Respect Ballarat project. So please consider how your project will measure that success, and does your organisation have the necessary skills and capacity to deliver the proposed program? as part of the application form, you will be asked to demonstrate the history of project delivery of your organisation or other organisations that are parties to your application. So that will be an important part of your application. The assessment panel will be assessing based upon the criteria which is communicated in the guidelines, which are available online. There are five groups of assessment areas that will be focused on. So alignment with the priority area being weighted most heavily, 40% of the assessment will be based upon the alignment with the priority area. The evidence-based and the building knowledge will form 20% of the assessment, the capacity, capability and collaboration aspects of your project, 10%. The ability to measure success, 25%. So there's a significant weighting there around measurement. And feasibility and value for money, you will be required to provide a budget for your project, and that budget will be assessed as part of the assessment process. In terms of making a formal application, we do urge you to read thoroughly the guidelines which are now available on the website. They are guidelines, and unfortunately today we're not in a position to be able to provide insight into which projects might be more favoured than others. Part of that process is going through and understanding how each project might fit into responding to the guidelines. That is the point of truth for each application. So please do read those guidelines thoroughly. You will be asked to apply through Good Grants, which is a third-party grant management platform, which the Ballarat Foundation currently uses for all our grant application processes. There is no fee associated with joining the Good Grants platform. And it's relatively intuitive. When you create an account with Good Grants, you will get access to the full application form, and the application form can be downloaded as a PDF so that you can see all of the questions before you start the online application form. This is just a good way to make sure that you're prepared and bring all of your documents together before you formally apply through the online platform. Platform is flexible. However, if you wish to do it bit by bit, it will allow you to save and return later on to complete an application if you want to check it before you finally submit your application. As I mentioned earlier, any questions in regards to the grant program itself should be directed to the Ballarat Foundation, and we'll have that email address on screen again shortly. We will manage those questions and we will draw on information provided by Respect Victoria where appropriate. So that email address for questions is info@ballaratfoundation.org.au. And that ends today's formal presentation. So we will now take a moment and start to answer some of the questions. We've got a couple of questions that have come through the chat. If you do have questions, now is a good time to ask them. Please enter that information in the chat. We have team members here who are monitoring that chat and will pass them on to me.
I think, Andrew, there was one there about, can you please tell us who else would be on the grant panel, apart from the Respect Victoria representative?
Yes, thanks, Jenny. Yes, so in regards to the grant panel, we are currently finalising the membership of the grants panel. The grants panel will be individuals who have expertise and experience in program operation or strategy that is specific to gendered violence responses. They will be a mix of people from different parts of our community. And we are seeking those that have an understanding of the Ballarat community. I think that question was from Eileen. Thank you, Eileen. I also have another question here from Eileen. Given the funding is only for 12 months and there is an expectation that the funding will build on current program services rather than establishing new program. Jenny, do you want to have a
Yeah,
crack at that one?
sure, you can handball to me. Yeah, thanks, Eileen. This funding, yes, is for 12 months. There will be other funding opportunities as well, and we imagine that they will be for longer periods of time. However, for this, you are able to either expand or continue to work and evolve what is already in place, or you may choose to start a new pilot on a promising activity that would be bounded within the 12 months period. If you were to then collect evidence during that 12 months that there was some promise in that new approach, then we could relook at that when we're going to new funding opportunities, and that would have a longer delivery period. So, yeah, don't count anything out. But I would say this is about building the foundations of good, knowledge, understanding, skills to do with the drive that address the drivers of violence against women.
Thank you, Jenny. The next question I have is from Jodie Downey. When you talk about wraparound and learn together, does that also support opportunities for sustainability?
Yeah, so sustainability is a key element that is in our model, and it's something that we're already working on at the moment. Um, we, the learning, really, those learning aspects are really about us going on a learning experience. Respect Victoria, alongside the community organisations that are funded and the community itself. And we want to really work out what will make the biggest difference, what will have impact here. And so we want to collect incremental learnings along the way so that if we need to change tack at any point, we can, and do so based on that evidence. Um, I'm not sure whether you're meaning if you could be funded for a grant idea that is specific to looking at sustainability. If so, I would say yes, mentioning and understanding sustainability is very important here. We would be welcome to see those ideas about how you might think of building that stronger long-term vision for Ballarat rather than just a 12-month vision. Mm.
Thank you, Jenny. Have a question from Ian. How can an individual with a plan be helped to link with groups such as sporting clubs and workplaces? And I think, Ian, I might jump in and answer that one. If you were to provide your details through to the email address info@ballaratfoundation.org.au, we'd be more than happy to facilitate some connections based upon um, uh, the interest that you have with those groups. I have a question from Belinda Joyce. If we apply and are successful in the first round, can we apply in the next round for a larger grant to keep programs going, or would we be better to wait for larger grants to be made available? Belinda, at this point, the grant opportunity is for 12 months. And while the Respect Ballarat program is evolving and will continue to evolve, and there is a long-term commitment to this project in Ballarat, the grant opportunity at the moment is for 12 months through the 2 tiers of opportunities that are available, the small grants up to 50,000 and the large grants between 50 and 100,000. Next question is from Adam Clark. In regards to evidencing models and outcomes, will the committee consider evidence from other jurisdictions or countries where a proposal talks to proven models that have not been implemented in Australia? Do you want to have a crack at that one first,
We can
Jen?
definitely do that. Yeah. So when we say things are your proposal will be evidence-based, that can be based on evidence that is drawn from across the globe for promising approaches and techniques, as long as it aligns with the priority places and people and the 3 change areas that we are looking at. You could take a method or an approach that has promise and I would recommend you then giving a good rationale for why you feel like that new approach would actually be tailored to place. So actually it would work well in Ballarat because this is a very place-based initiative. And so you just need to demonstrate that any new approach would actually fit Ballarat well for certain reasons. Yeah.
Thank you, Jenny. We have a question from Alexandra Bell. Will both small and large grants cover staffing or just the large grants? Staffing wages are eligible expense for both the small and large grants. There are a list of items in the guidelines which are not relevant budget items for this program. However, wages are included in both tiers as an eligible expense.
I can pick up the question from JD. I'm not sure who that is exactly, but will Respect Ballarat facilitate a community of practice through this grants program? So learnings across the funded programs can be shared and supported while they're being implemented. Yes, that is very much part of our plan. We want to support you and wrap around you with several things. One would be a community of practice where each of the funded organisations or groups or individuals come together and we share and learn along the way, along that 12 months together. We are planning on also having some special information sessions, deep dive sessions into particular topics that might be particularly relevant to many of the funded projects. So say partnerships might be a topic that we might specialise in, or we might have a separate session with our wonderfully talented monitoring, evaluation and learning team at Respect Victoria, where they would share and help support programs in how they will set out what is the theory of change or the program logic for their proposals, and then how they might best go about collecting that data to show that what they've done has been effective or not. Yeah. So it'll come in different shapes and forms, but there'll definitely be a community of practice.
Thank you again, Jenny. We have some further questions. I think we've addressed most. We still Oh, hang on, here's a new question. If all of the expected funds are not used within the 12 months, will you allow organisations to reinvest the remaining funds to support the program in Ballarat for following years? I understand grants require a budget. However, I'm seeking advice on if we inadvertently don't use all the funding. Thank you for that question, Sophie. The grant agreement will outline the requirements in terms of both the acquittal associated with the grant if you are successful. And within those processes, generally, if projects change and evolve over time, and you will have an opportunity through this process to be connected through that learning together approach. And if changes are required to projects, that's a conversation that we will have with you when those circumstances arise. If those circumstances arise, I should say.
I can take the next one if you like, Andrew. So this one is, are there plans for an overarching evaluation that would assess outcomes across multiple grants, assuming some will be overlapping, thinking there would be economies of scale if evaluation is collaborative? Absolutely, to all those points. So yes, we are in the process of working up a tender to go out to market to have an external evaluator for independence and credibility to come in and help us with our multi-pronged evaluation approach. So that will be happening in the coming months. I guess from a grant fundee perspective, we would be looking at taking your learnings and some of your de-identified data where appropriate, and bringing that into the evaluation, because we want to, part of our evaluation will be determining how did the grant rounds go? What types of programs did we, or projects did we fund? Which ones seemed to make a difference? Which ones didn't? How did we create that mutually reinforcement effect by having multiple funded projects that are actually interconnected or overlapping? You may know, if you've been following the launch and other documents on our website about the saturation approach, having that mutual reinforcement is really important. So we will be working hard behind the scenes to have a look at how each of the funded projects are interconnected in some ways, and help to strengthen those relationships and encourage you to continue with those sort of relationships. So we build a great infrastructure in Ballarat. So yes, I hope that answers your question. Economies of scale, yes, it's something we need to be mindful of. And where others can help contribute to data collection and data analysis, we would welcome that. But we will help steer and provide that overall approach so that you know how would be the best way to share that data or share those insights with us.
Thank you, Jenny.
And the next one, really, sharing success stories. So that's definitely something that we want to do. We want to find ways to share what we learn along the way, and to showcase great examples of where things are really working. We wouldn't have all those details worked out at this point, but that is very much the intention, to have that good communication and celebrating those wonderful wins when some of your projects, will make a difference. And so we definitely want to celebrate those. I think there's another question there from Sophie L. Just adding on, asking about how you'll assist fundees in amalgamating, collaborating on similar prevention ideas. I think that's one that we're still working out the details of, but there's the intention to support that connection and to help strengthen partnerships that you might propose. So I think I just need to put that one on notice and we can come back on that. But there would be the intention at this point to support that collaboration, that partnership wherever we can.
We will just add a clarifying note to the guidelines just around staffing costs, wages and overheads as well. I've just had a query in regards to that aspect. So we will make sure that we provide some additional clarification on our website just in regards to what is in and out in regards to staffing and overheads following this session. So, Sophie, just in regards to the grant acquittal timeline, the grant agreement will be for a period of 12 months from signing. We expect that to happen in March, April next year following the announcement of the successful applicants, and you will be required to acquit the funds at the end of the grant contract, which will be 12 months from the date of signing. Well, I thank you everyone for joining us today. I do want to just, we have one more quick question from
Last minute. Sneak
Jody.
in.
When will you know if there are further grant rounds?
By the end of the year, we should have an announcement about that.
Thank you, Jenny. I would just like to close today by thanking everyone who's joined us today and who is participating in the Ballarat community's response through this project. I want to thank Jenny and all the team from Respect Victoria who have been doing incredible work over the last couple of years in our community. I want to recognise also the team from the Ballarat Foundation. We've got some team members on the call today who've been working very hard to bring this grants program together in partnership with RV and everyone that's been part of the co-design work that's led us to this point, a really important point. We also want to thank you so much for today. If once you have an opportunity to further peruse the guidelines and start the application process, if you've got any questions, info@ballaratfoundation.org.au, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. But thank you all again for joining us today.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, everyone.